Okay, so today is 10/22/20. This is October 22nd. This is Thursday. Right now we're working on Mexico Notes Part 2. So we are finishing the second half of the PowerPoint slides. On this side is going to be the slides that I click through. On this side is going to be your notes. So you should have out your journal or a piece of paper and something to write with. Or if you are taking notes on a Google slide, if you are typing as I go, that's okay too. I would recommend writing, but if you want to be doing it digitally, that's all right too. Okay, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and then it'll refocus. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to catch up to where I am in your journal, if you're writing down the date and the page number, and Mexico Notes Part 2. Okay, so the government type is a federal republic. So we're going to write government type, and then colon, ... federal republic. Alrighty, good job. This is a picture of the National Palace in Mexico City, seat of the federal executive in Mexico. Not like they don't mean literally a seat, they mean like where that person stays. So the president is both chief of state and head of government. Currently, 2019, the president is Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Presidents serve, this is him off to the side, presidents serve 6 single-year terms. There are 3 branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial, which should sound pretty familiar because those are the 3 branches that the United States has as well. So we're going to write president, colon, and then we're going to write chief of state / head of government. So there's 2 titles. And then some more facts about the president is that they do single 6-year terms. So they do single 6-year terms. And they have 3 branches. So we're going to write 3 branches, then a colon, then we'll write out the 3. So executive, legislative, and judicial. Okie dokie. Now moving on to the next slide. Mexico government. Mexico is divided into 31 states plus the capital, Mexico City. So I can't zoom in on this slide, but each of these different areas that are lined off in white lines and then have a different color blue, that is a different state in Mexico. Just like we have 50 states in America, in Mexico there are 31. So the capital is Mexico City. And I believe that on your previous page, if you did Mexico Notes on Tuesday, you already have this page filled out. And the capital is Mexico City, biggest city in North America with 20.9 million people. Phew, that's a lot of people. If you need to catch up on these notes, go back and look in the landing page. At the top of Echo, there is a link, let me show you, that says click here for the updated 6th grade social studies journal. If you click there, it will open up, and then it will show you all the notes that we have so far. And if you're like, man, I didn't take these notes yesterday, or I forgot earlier this week, here they are. If it's hard to see, you can click zoom and zoom in and write all this down in your journal or in your Google Slides if you're doing it digitally. Okay, that was a side note. But the capital city is Mexico City, which we already had in our notes yesterday. So the economy, Mexico economy, the GDP per capita is 19,900, which is a 2017 estimate. estimate, goodness. Sorry, Coach Mary needs to work on her words. 2017 estimate, word rank is 90th, and the currency is peso. And these are them. This is the picture of pesos. So off to the side on our notes, we're going to write economy. This top section was all about government. Now we're moving on to economy. So the GDP per capita, gross domestic product, that's what that stands for. How much money they're making per capita is 19,900. And I'm going to say 2017 estimate. So world rank is going to be 90th. Currency is going to be peso. And for anyone who's been to Mexico or has visited there, or maybe even lived there, you have seen the peso. This is their currency, their money. Okay, next, economy. Oil, tourism, and food and beverage are major Mexican industries. Mexico is also the world's leading silver producer. So we're going to write industries. Oops. This is a capital I. INDUSTRIES. Sorry. Industries. So we're going to say oil, tourism, like people traveling and visiting there, food, beverage, so like restaurants, when people go out to eat, and then we're going to write comma silver, because they're a leading silver producer. Those are their popular industries. If you need to pause the video at any point in time and catch up with what I'm writing, you definitely can, but I'm going to keep going to the next slide. Mexico economy. Cancun is a popular tourist destination that draws more than 2 million tourists per year. So Cancun, we're going to write colon, Cancun, 2 million tourists per year. That's a lot of tourists. And no wonder, look, it looks like a beautiful place. I would love to go there. I've never been, but maybe someday. Okay, Mexico economy. Manufacturing has become more important since NAFTA. NAFTA, which stands for North American Free Trade Agreement, allows goods to be traded freely between Mexico, the United States, and Canada. So these three countries, here's Canada up here in the north, then here's the United States, plus Alaska is still a part of the United States, and plus Mexico, which is south of the United States. All these three countries have decided we would like to be able to trade with each other, so they created NAFTA. We're going to write that down on our notes. NAFTA. This is an acronym, meaning each letter stands for something. And we're going to write down each word. North, underline the N, that way you know that each letter stands for something. North American Free Trade Agreement. Like I said, if you ever need to pause the video to catch up on what I'm writing, you can. Good job. Okay, here we go to the next slide. Mexico culture, the language. Mexico does not have an official language, but 98% of Mexicans speak Spanish. So we've talked about government, we've talked about economy, and now we're going to talk about culture. So I'm going to skip a line and then write culture, colon, and we're going to say 98% speak Spanish. Next slide. The religion, 82.7% of Mexicans are Roman Catholic. So in our notes, we're going to write religion, colon, and then 82.7. And again, some of these numbers, even if they're not entirely exactly accurate, if this was an estimate from another year, the point of this slide is definitely to tell you that the majority of people in Mexico are Roman Catholic. So this number might have gone like up a little bit or down a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and write 82.7 are Roman Catholic. And Catholicism is a denomination or a type of Christianity. So if you've heard of someone being a Christian, a Catholic is like a specific type of Christian, just like Methodist or Lutheran or Baptist. And this says pictured the Puebla Cathedral, a really pretty church. Okay, culture, also known for its art tradition. Diego Rivera, 1886 to 1957, one of Mexico's most famous artists known for painting murals. So we're going to write art, colon, and then we're going to write down Diego Rivera. And then we're going to write the years when he was born, 1886 to 1957. And then we're going to say famous mural artist. Actually, we can just write murals. Diego Rivera, 1886 to 1957, famous murals. And this is one of his murals. You can tell it's very detailed, very pretty. This is, as it says in the caption, pictured a mural by Diego Rivera depicting Mexico's national history. Awesome. More about Mexico culture. Football, aka soccer is what we call it, is the most popular sport in Mexico, followed by boxing and baseball. Azteca Stadium, pictured here, in Mexico City, is the 6th largest stadium in the world. So we're going to say sports, colon, football, F-U-T-B-O-L, with the acento over the U is how it would be spelled. In parentheses, we're going to write soccer, that way we know what it is, comma, boxing, comma, baseball. These are the 3 top sports. Very different than ours. Ours are generally football and basketball. After sports, let's write Azteca Stadium. So Azteca Stadium, colon, 6th largest. So that's a huge stadium. That way they can accommodate lots and lots of people for soccer games, football games. More about Mexican culture. Mexican cuisine is a blend of European and Native American influences and today is popular around the world. Tacos, enchiladas, and tamales are some of the most popular dishes. So we're going to write food, aka like cuisine. Food would be tacos, enchiladas, tamales, and it's common to see these types of foods in and around Texas in our area because we have the influence of being so close to Mexico. So we have kind of Tex-Mex food, which is Texas and Mexican food combined. More about culture. Mexico celebrates their Independence Day on September 16th, anniversary of the Grito de Dolores, the Cry of the Dolores, which we talked about in our notes earlier this week, that Father Miguel Hidalgo gave a speech for freedom. He's the father of independence. So when you hear Miguel Hidalgo, think, oh yeah, he's the guy who helped to inspire everyone want to gain independence for Mexico. And they became their own country when they were free of Spain. So we're going to write Independence Day. Colon, September 16th. That's kind of like our version of July 4th. Theirs is September 16th. They also celebrate Cinco de Mayo, which is similar to their Independence Day. It was the day that they won a really big battle during their own Revolutionary War. So if you've heard of Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May, that's an important day too, but the one we're writing down is September 16th. Oh, and then in parentheses, Cry of Dolores. That was the city, the area where he was. There was a church that he was at, Miguel Hidalgo. And when they created the big speech and got everyone riled up, it was the cry, like the sound that the people were making. They were speaking and speaking up for themselves. So, Cry of Dolores. Okay, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, is celebrated on November 1st and 2nd to remember loved ones who have passed away. Dia de los Muertos traditions include honoring the deceased using marigolds, sugar skulls, favorite food, drinks of the deceased, leaving gifts at grave sites. So on our notes, we're going to write Day of the Dead. And it might sound like a negative thing or like a scary thing, but Day of the Dead is more of a celebration to remember people who have passed away. And some of you have probably participated in this before or have seen little altars for family members or friends who have passed away. It's a very beautiful part of their culture. Okay, so we wrote Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, November 1st/2nd. So we're underneath we're going to write to remember those who have passed. Okay, good job. And actually, let me go back. Whoopsies. This is coming up. So after Halloween, after October 31st, November 1st and 2nd will be a Sunday and a Monday. So the Day of the Dead, that celebration is actually coming up. Really cool. Mexico, interesting info. Seal of the government of Mexico. According to Aztec legend, the god, and this one I always mispronounce, you guys, Huitzilopochtli, said they were to settle a place where they would find an eagle on a prickly pear cactus holding a serpent. The seal has become a symbol of Mexican politics and culture. Okay, so I just paused the recording so that I could go find the pronunciation of it on YouTube, and now I'm going to play it so you can hear it. Huitzilopochtli. So, again, I am not going to always say that correctly, but that's what it's supposed to sound like. That name comes from the god that said they were to settle in a place where they would find an eagle on a prickly pear cactus. And the depiction, this is on their flag, this eagle, also in real life, let me show you a picture, it looks like this. Oh my gosh, isn't this crazy? Look at this bird. Gigantic. Anywho, this was just a side note about what they look like in real life. Okay. So off to the side, we can write on our notes. So the god, and then Huitzilopochtli is what it sounded like on the YouTube video. Remember, in this class, we try our best and we fail forward. If we mess up a pronunciation, we laugh it off and say, okay, I'll get it better next time. So the god said they were to settle in a place where they would find an eagle on a prickly pear cactus. So eagle on cactus. That's on cactus. And then I'm going to write an equal sign to tell myself that was added to their flag. Okay, interesting info. Chichen Itza, the Mayan city built before the arrival of Columbus, was one of the largest Mayan cities. 1.2 million tourists visit the site each year. UNESCO World Heritage Site. So you can tell by how big these people are in the picture, how large this structure is. On our notes, we are going to write Chichen Itza. And then largest Mayan city. It gets a lot of people each year. That's awesome. Teotihuacan. Again, I'm going to look it up and make sure that I'm saying it right. 1 second. Okay, so to tell you how to pronounce it, I found a YouTube video. Here's how you say it.
So altogether, this name is Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan. So, Teotihuacan is a pre-Columbian city located 30 miles from Mexico City. Teotihuacan was once the largest city in the Americas. The ethnicity of the inhabitants is unclear. Most visited archaeological site in Mexico. So we're going to write Teotihuacan, Teotihuacan, Teotihuacan. This is the most visited archaeological site in Mexico. I'm sorry if my hand is covering the notes. And I'm abbreviating Mexico, MX, but most visited archaeological site in Mexico. Okay, if you need to pause and make sure you can write down the notes. That is the end of our slides. We're all done. This was part 2. I know this was a lot of notes. Let me zoom out real quick just to make sure that you got all of them. This was the whole page. It's going to refocus. This picture will be in your updated journal in the link. If you need help, ask me. Make sure that you are coming to Google Meet and checking in with me for attendance and to ask any questions. Okay, have a great day. Bye.